In the headlines, 14 bodies recovered from Zumba Guni River following a boat mishap involving locals in Niger State. Anambra State Governor tasked security operatives to protect lives after arsonist set Nnewi Secretariat ablaze. Senate panel probes sale of 1.7 million barrels of crude by EFCC. And on the foreign scene, Russia threatens to stop supply of gas to countries if not paid in rubles. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. At least 14 bodies have been recovered from the Zumba Guni River in Niger State following a boat mishap involving locals fleeing from bandits. A resident in the area, Michael Madaki, told Daily Trust correspondent that the bodies of 4 children and 9 women had been recovered while search for the remaining bodies is ongoing. Meanwhile, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has directed the Niger State Emergency Management Agency to immediately commence a search and rescue operation for the remaining bodies of the victims. The governor, in a statement through his chief press secretary, Mary Noel Baje, described the incident as disturbing and painful and directed the agency to also provide succor for the remaining fleeing villagers. Now, the House of Representatives has urged security agencies to intensify responses to armed bandits attacks in Giwa and Birnin-Gwari local government areas of Kaduna State. This followed adoption of a motion moved under matters of urgent public importance by Shehu Balarabe from Kaduna State on attacks on communities in his constituency, where more than 117 have been killed, 130 abducted and valuables stolen. The report.
With bandit attacks on roads and railway and attempts on Kaduna Airport, it's been one attack too many. In his debate, Representative Shehu Balarabe said attacks on people in Kaduna State, particularly his constituency, is already unbearable, where many have been killed, abducted, cows, goats, vehicles and motorcycles stolen.
Concerned that victims of this attack who have been displaced in my constituency are taking refuge in local government and local government areas. Mararaba Yakawada, Women's Center Yakawada, Town Hall Yakawada, Primary Healthcare Yakawada, BATC Giwa, Fatika District Head Office and his official residence.
Other members who contributed described the motion as worrisome. They are shocked that security agencies cannot track down bandits that have contacted families of those abducted from the train for ransom.
Any government that fails and or neglects to secure the lives and property of its citizenry, that government is not supposed to last longer than absolutely necessary, because that is the primacy of governance.
It's just like a medical doctor putting professionalism on one hand aside. You presented a patient. As a patient relative, you said, okay, every month I will give you 100 million naira until when the patient recovers or otherwise. The doctor will make sure that particular patient did not die, and he will continue to maintain that he did not recover, because he will keep on tapping the money. It's a simple analysis, and every simple person can understand.
Government in this case has to rise up to its responsibility. Call a spade is spade. If it's about funding, each and every one of us here knows we have never had any cause to contemplate funding our security agencies. And I believe our relevant committees are following up in terms of implementation of such fundings through our budgets, through their oversight processes. Then why things should continue this way?
The House later adjourned due to what it described as the worsening security situation in the country, making the motion as the only item treated at plenary.
Anambra State Governor Soludo has urged security agencies to go after criminals and intensify security to protect lives and property in the state. Governor Soludo made the call at Nnewi South Local Government Area, Ukpo Secretariat, attacked by arsonists on Wednesday night. The governor inspected the buildings set ablaze by the hoodlums, which include Works Department, Education, Building, Traditional Council Office, Public Complaint Commission Office, and Property Department Office. Soludo, who is accompanied by the State Commissioner of Police, Echeng, and other heads of security agencies, condemned the attack, describing it as mindless and very unfortunate.
They have been used to hire teachers. The money that should have been used to pave roads, the money that should have been used to provide water, the money that should have been used to provide the basics to the people, will now be used to start rebuilding the buildings. Who is the loser? Who loses? We had bleeds for the man in the street, for the common man, because it is the man in the street, that Okada rider, that woman that sells pepper by the roadside in the market. That's the person who is going to pay for this. Because the money to be used to repair this is the money that should have been used for their benefit. The security agencies will get to the bottom of it, but I tell you not to despair. No amount of arson or bloodletting will bring down the spirit of Anambra. Yes, we are strong and we'll keep getting stronger. Nnewi South, Ukpo, will be stronger for it. We can't let them prevail over the 99.9% innocent people who go about their businesses, toil every day. We are hardworking people. We respect life, we respect property, because that's the foundation of our society.
President of the Republic of Niger, Muhammadu Bazoum, has opened up on his discussions with President Muhammadu Buhari during his state visit. He speaks with State House reporters after the meeting held at the presidential villa in Abuja. Bazoum said that the discussions focused on the economy and the security situation, which he described as issues of mutual benefit to both Niger and Nigeria. He said the meeting discussed the joint big military operation that kicked off in the Lake Chad Basin region against the terrorists being conducted by the multinational joint task force.
In our countries, in a manner that we push these issues to be of benefit, of mutual benefit to both countries, Niger and Nigeria. My visit coincides with a very big operation that is taking place jointly in the Lake Chad Basin region against the terrorists. And this big operation is being conducted by MNJTF, the Multinational Joint Task Force. And as you know very well, the operations of the Multinational Joint Task Force is funded almost entirely by Nigeria. And this operation is meant to, and will certainly help in providing security in addressing the challenges that both countries are facing. I want to reiterate my commendation and thanks to President Muhammadu Buhari, who, because of his support, this operation is going on and will be very much beneficial. On economic issues, we discussed the Kano-Katsina-Maradi Railway project. And this project is an infrastructure that will integrate the two economies, the economies of Nigeria and Niger. And so I want to thank His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for his effort to ensuring that this project has taken off, and I hope that it will be sustained, because this project will radically change the trading exchange between the two countries.
Former governor of Anambra State and running mate to the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2019 election, Peter Obi, has picked the party's nomination and expression of interest forms to contest for the 2023 presidency. Obi is now set to contest against his former boss, ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who had earlier obtained form to vie for the same position. The form is reportedly purchased by the like minds for him. Speaking shortly after purchasing the forms, Nwakuche said that they are a group of young Nigerian professionals that feel the country is not going in the right direction and needs a seasoned technocrat that can steer the affairs of the country in the right direction. He said if the country can cut down the cost of governance, things will be better, and they believe Peter Obi can do the job. The leader said that they are working with other groups like Take Back Nigeria, which has promised to mobilize 10 million votes for PDP and Peter Obi. The Senate Committee on Finance has launched investigation into the alleged sale of seized 1.7 million barrels of crude oil by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The Director of Operations of the Nigerian Navy, Rear Admiral Shola Oluwagbere, had at an interactive session on revenue leakage in the maritime sector yesterday told the panel that the crude barrels were seized by the Nigerian Navy between 2021 and the first quarter of 2022 from oil thieves. He told the committee that the seized vessels were handed over to the EFCC since the Nigerian Navy was not a prosecuting agency. When asked the whereabouts of the confiscated crude by the committee's chairman, Solomon Olamilekan Adiola, Olagbire said that the anti-graft agency had disposed of them. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, when asked if the proceeds of the sales had been remitted in the Federation account, said she was not aware on how the seized products were handled. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Women compete in Abuja black market. Details and more coming shortly. Thanks for staying. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. 14 bodies recovered from Zumba Guni River following a boat mishap involving locals in Niger State. Anambra State Governor tasked security operatives to protect lives after arsonists set Navy Secretariat ablaze. Elsewhere, as part of efforts to promote transparency and accountability in government businesses, Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch presents its Transparency and Integrity Index Methodology Handbook. This follows the need for further guidance of most ministries, departments and agencies on the methodology and timely implementation of the 2021 Transparency and Integrity Index, a pioneer project the center had earlier launched. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu has the details.
Technology-driven solutions are now being deployed to monitor public sector expenditures, strengthen public sector integrity mechanisms, and promote accountability. In strengthening Nigeria's anti-corruption architecture by supporting criminal justice reform and implementation of enabling policies, programs and laws, the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Integrity Watch launches a methodology handbook on Transparency and Integrity Index used to checkmate activities of the public sector.
You know, we have a problem of corruption in Nigeria, and every election cycle comes and people talk about corruption. And we'll find out that it's actually much more expensive to combat corruption after the deed has occurred. So what we try to do is to ensure that one of the indicators of combating corruption is a prevention arm. And the prevention arm entails where people are more transparent. I'm talking about agencies now, ministries, departments, and agencies where they are more transparent. You find that the corruption reduces. So our little assessment of countries that are more developed than Nigeria is that their democracies are deeper because there's more transparency in public finance. So that is why we did this initiative to encourage MDAs, especially as on state governors, state governments and local governments to ensure they are transparent, especially with regards to public finance and other aspects of corruption.
The assessment handbook is expected to guide ministries, departments and agencies to promote transparency and integrity mechanisms deployed in the public sector using 5 variables and 31 sub-variables to assess the availability of information on public institutions' websites at all levels.
What we're trying to encourage MDAs just to be more transparent. Nobody is going to antagonize anybody as they are more transparent with their information. Citizens will know those that are doing well and those that are not doing well will be encouraged to do well next time.
The initiative by the center contributes to Nigeria's goal of reducing corruption by supporting Nigerian-led efforts that strengthen accountability, transparency, and participation. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Fuel scarcity has forced many to stay in long queues and even sleep over for hours. This comes as an advantage for black marketers to redeem in thousands. Predominantly male-dominated, the story this time, however, captures women on the streets of Abuja persuading motorists to buy fuel from them. Zainab Bala captured this.
I was just passing by this filling station behind me. It's an NNPC filling station along Kubwa Express around Day axis. And then something really interesting caught my attention. There were black marketers, on the roadside, predominantly male. And then when I moved past them, I saw quite a number of women, standing also selling black markets. And then there were people standing by the roadside and they were negotiating just as their male counterparts did. And this really, I felt a kind of remorse. And then it also tells you how hard the country has become. A lot of them didn't want to speak to me because some of the agents in the filling stations were warning them not to talk to me, not to talk to anybody. Because I think they have to negotiate to actually get this fuel from them. They have to pay extra to get this fuel from them to resell the fuel.
See why they talk like this now? No money now, we are hungry. No food, nothing. We don't have money. That is why we are sending. So now problem where did I make us come outside now?
Yes.
For me or for yourself?
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, on Thursday urges members of the governing board of the National Broadcasting Commission to support the commission to realize the ambitious digital switchover project aimed at transforming the broadcast industry. The minister gave the charge at the formal inauguration. He gave the charge at the formal inauguration of the board in Abuja. The board chairman, Bashir Omolaja Bolarinwa, pledged not to disappoint the minister for the confidence reposed in them.
I urge you all to buy into this project to ensure that NBC is able to deliver on what we perceive as a legacy project, because the DSO will change the face of broadcasting in Nigeria. Also, please note that as we move closer to the 2023 general elections, the National Broadcasting Commission will come under increasing pressure to step up its regulatory role to prevent a repeat of what transpired before, during, and after the 2019 general elections.
I want to make a promise on behalf of the members that we'll try as much as possible to acquaint ourselves with the management of the NBC and, of course, the ministerial task force, of which you said that you are the chair. We try as much as possible to assist the commission to be able to live up to the desired and achieve the desired objective.
And in business news, Nigeria's external reserve fell by $313 million in March, according to figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria on Thursday. The CBN's figures show that the foreign exchange reserves, which commenced March 1, 2022, at $39.86 billion, fell to $39.55 billion as of March 30, 2022. Following the invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces, crude oil prices have continued to fluctuate as the global energy sector continues to experience disruptions. Brent, the crude against which Nigeria's oil is priced, which had jumped above $100 per barrel in the past few weeks, hit $120 as of Thursday. The CBN had expressed worries over the effects of the massive oil theft on the oil sector and the external reserves. Also, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited said that the country had lamented that the nation was not meeting its OPEC crude oil production quota lately. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, had at the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting expressed concerns over oil production and external reserves. Emefiele, however, said that the CBN, in collaboration with the Bankers Committee, was working to boost non-oil exports through the raise to a $200 billion. On the foreign scene, Russia has told unfriendly foreign countries that they must start paying for gas in rubles or it will cut supplies. Vladimir Putin has signed a decree stating buyers must open ruble accounts in Russian banks from Friday. Putin's demand is being seen as an attempt to boost the ruble, which has been hit by Western sanctions. His decree means foreign buyers of Russian gas would have to open an account at Russia's Gazprom Bank and transfer euros or US dollars into it. Putin said that the switch to rubles was meant to strengthen Russia's sovereignty, and it will stick to its obligations on all contracts if Western nations obliged. Germany said that the change announced by Putin amounted to blackmail. Since Russia invaded Ukraine, Western nations have issued economic and trading sanctions on Russia, but the European Union has not placed bans on oil or gas, unlike the US and Canada, as its member nations rely heavily on it. And that wraps up Trust News Update at this hour. Connect with us via our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch us live. I am Ayuba Ilia. Thank you for watching.